Sup guys, it's desRow for guide number 7. If you haven't seen any of my other guides, you can look it up on YouTube, guide 2126. There's a playlist also. So today we're going to be looking at a PvT, two PvTs in fact. The build is sort of not standard, but it's like a 2 base opener and 2 macro. If your opponent is a new or didn't scout or just muled, he's gonna die. But most of the opponents I get usually survive, and you'll see in game 2 sometimes it even goes bad, but you can turn that around with smart play. So the build we're gonna look at today is War Prism DT Arrest. It's off 2 base. You do that after 1 gate expand. So I've got the notes. We're gonna look at them in between this game and the other game. So you've got 9 pylon, 13 gate, scout on 11, 15 gas. I'm sorry for saying it quick. 16 pylon. And then you're gonna scout. You're gonna confirm. Oh, I'm gonna slow down, guys. I'm sorry. You're gonna confirm that there's no gas. You need to count as CVs if there's like one missing, because like right now there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Well, now there's one more, or there's one that's scouting. Okay, so you have 15. So if you count one less than that, there might be a 2 rack somewhere, so you need to be more careful. But you just open Zod Stalker anyway, even if there's one less SCV. But it's good to try to scout that with a probe. Also with a probe, something that's good to do is try to confirm that he's putting down an orbital. This particular opponent waited to get second marine before making his orbital, but sometimes with the probe you can confirm that there's an orbital, and then you can skip the stalker and skip or delay the third pylon. And delay, I don't mean skip, I mean delay. So delay the third pylon and delay the stalker to get an earlier nexus. But in this case I wasn't able to confirm that. It's always good to make a Zod stalker. You want to chrono the end of the Zod onto the stalker. We'll go back just so you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you guys. So the stalker, the Zod's about to finish, and you want to chrono it onto the stalker. You definitely don't want to chrono and then not be able to make a stalker because the core's not up. For this build, you don't want to chrono warp gate research at all. I mean, this build is good if they're going 1 racks expand. So if you can confirm that there's an orbital here, this build is good. If you cannot confirm that there's an orbital, this build might be risky and you might be better with 1 gate 1 robo. But if you can confirm that there's an expansion, which I'll be showing how to confirm that, you should be doing just fine. Now, one thing you want to do, and I didn't do this game and I've been doing for the past few days, is you want to send a probe right now to try to scout around the mineral line. That way you take less time with your stalker to do that. But you can still do it with the stalker, deny the probe. And the reason you want to send the probe sooner is because you want to turn your Zod around in case he builds an eBay. I know many of you guys get frustrated. If he builds an eBay, just let it go, chrono probes one more time, and just delay your expand by 1 probe. By 1 probe basically. If they delay it, as long as your Zealot is not across the map and you don't lose too much time, them building an eBay is not too bad. So I was able to deny the eBay building. And as soon as you put down the Nexus, your priority is getting a second gas. Now, to confirm that there's an expansion, you want to push those damn rocks. You want to push with Zod Stalker. You want to make sure the Zod's in front. I mean, I guess I'm kind of lying because I didn't confirm. Well, there was a bunker building, so I guess I'd sort of confirm it was an expand. But what you want to do is, well, it was my first game of MLG, so let's say I didn't play this one perfect, but what you want to do is you want to have a probe and you want to run it, you want to mineral walk it on some maps to confirm that there is an expand. I should have like tanked a bit more with my Zod to confirm that there was a base. He could have tricked me and played mind games. Actually, this guy went for a quick third orbital. But there's not really any way to know that unless he's cutting heavily on Marines. If you see less Marines, you might assume it's a third orbital. Anyway, going on with the build, you want to fill that gas as soon as possible. You want to make the Twilight as soon as you can confirm, or if you've already confirmed, as soon as you have the gas for it. You want to make a second Stalker to deny scouting, and you want to make a second Stalker to be able to deny Marine pressure by kiting. You obviously don't want to make a sentry because that takes more gas, and we're going DT with a robo, so we definitely need our gas. The Zealot that poked can take the tower. It's a good thing to do, because you definitely want to deny scouting. Like, this guy's not scouting too much because he's on 3 orbitals, but sometimes they'll try to sneak an SCV to save a scan, and that's definitely something we don't want let the turn do, is sneak an SCV. Saturation, I've talked about it in my previous guide, and we're going to cover it again. You want to transfer the cutoff of 16, which is 2 rows, which is, I need to transfer a few more right now. For the build, you want to get a robo as soon as you have the gas. That's something, I'm not going to go back, but because we'll cover it in the second replay. But you want to build a robo as soon as you have the gas. So basically you're going 1 gate, 1 Twilight, 1 robo, and then you add more gates. You wanna build a Dark Shrine. I've transferred the extra probes of 16. Then build the Dark Shrine. I'm gonna yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm not gonna edit that. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. So 3 gate, you want to start a War Prism. After the War Prism, you want to start the third gas, add the natural. Because you're gonna need an extra gas. You don't want to add 2 more gases because you need minerals in the end. But yeah, so you make the War Prism as soon as you can. You don't want to get supply block. You can chrono the War Prism 2 times and make an observer. I think you have enough gas for that. I'm not sure. Well, I guess I do it. You can add, once you have enough, once you start having a lot of probes, you can start adding the 4th gas, but adding the 4th gas right away is not the best thing to do. Now, for this, so the goal here is the goal is to do damage with DTs, and then get armor, and get charge lots, and then be able to have a good army composition. But for this, so yeah, you can either make a forge or a fort gate. Like, I've played MVP Keen and an ASL qualifier, and I made a forge instead of a fort gate, and then I didn't have any warpin for a sentry to buy time, and I got pooned in the face. So this can be a fort gate if you want to play safer, or you can make it a forge if you want to play a bit more risky. Because, like, look at my gas, look at my money. Okay, it's time to warp in some DTs. This is done. I guess I should have put sound. I forgot to put sound, guys. Okay, my sound's not too loud. That's good. But yeah, as you can see, I have money to warp in, but I don't have any more warp in unless I chrono that. So okay, so around 8:30, 8:25, you wanna warp in some DTs, and then around, I guess, 8:50 is when you wanna drop them. Now, the priority with DTs is to let them go wild on the SCVs. As soon as the SCVs start running, what you want to do is you want to split them. So you want to split. I saw that there was a turret there, so I started splitting them. Now he's gonna scan, so you have to try to identify. Oh yeah, that observer died poorly. You want to try to identify which DT is gonna focus and try to move that guy away. So I moved it to the corner. So he scanned once, and that didn't pay for himself. Back home, you're getting armor, you're getting charge, and you're trying to chrono boost it as well as you can while adding gates. But you also want to try to micro your DTs as well as you can. Doing both is definitely hard. If I'd had to pick one over the other, if like it was crucial, I'd do the DTs, because being able to snipe add-ons is really important. But definitely doing both at once is what you want to aim for. But if you're like in lower league and you have to pick one because you can't do both, I'd pick the DTs, because what if you don't micro your DTs and all 3 get scanned at the same time? So back home, I'm gonna be adding 8 gates total. Then I'm gonna start making. You want to make 1 sentry to have Guardian Shield, because if you have 2 armor, and they have 1 weapon, and you have Guardian Shield, their Marine does 2 damage to your Zealots, so that's definitely good. I'm gonna start making Archons. I'm gonna start warping in Zots. I'm actually okay. Now I'm getting more Panons. You want to keep making probes. That guy have a third orbital, so obviously my priority here is to get a third to get things going. Because even though I'm ahead in worker, I mean mules are mules, so that's really important. And one thing I didn't do this game is, or at least, or I'm doing now, is you want to scout all the edges of the map. And every time you one gate expand against a Terran and he's one rank safeing, you want to check the, you want to send 2 probes out at each side of the map. You want to check for hidden orbitals, because those are gambling from Terran, but they do extremely well. So it's really important to check, to scout like this. And then after you're done scouting for hidden orbitals, you want to make pylons on the side of the map. That way if he's dropping or if he's attacking into somewhere, like right now I have really good map control. Now I'm chronoing my two armor. He scanned the DT. That's one thing too, when you open DT you can just like send one DT. I'm sending another one right now. So I'm gonna go to 3 Archons and I'm gonna start making Zod. And as soon as I start having gas for Robo Bay and a second robotic, I will do that. So right now I'm focusing mostly on making Zods. One thing too is if you're afraid of drops, I know he wasn't going to drop. You can add pylons here, and you can leave like 2-3 zealots on patrol here, or cannons. It's definitely up to you, depending on how many warpins you can afford. Like right now he's putting pressure, so I can't afford warpin, so making cannon here might have been a wise choice. One thing too is when you're, well, I made another DT because, you know, if he's gonna try to attack me, you might as well make him scan. Right now, okay, so something, maybe I talked about that in my other guides, maybe I didn't. Saturation, what you want to do is, you want to transfer the cutoff of 16, you want to get to 16 at the natural, and then once you have 16 at the natural, you want to put the main back into the main, right here, and then you want to grow even. So right now I have 25, and right now I have 24. That's almost even. And then you want to transfer 1 row from each when you get your third, or at least you want to count them, and then you want to transfer even. And then you want to keep 16 in the main, 16 at the natural, and then you want to transfer all the rally points from the nexuses to the third. Sometimes it takes me a bit of time because I'm like multitasking and I don't do it right away. Like right now I'm not doing it right away, or at least I've done it for one nexus, but I'm still not making probes of this nexus. Anyway, at least you understand the situation. Getting a Robo Bay was short on gas, didn't add the second Robo right away, but that will be done shortly, I'm sure. Still chrono boosting armor because that's really important. I'm sometimes sending a probe out if you don't have an observer. I mean, there's no reason to not have an observer. Well, I mean, there's a reason, I guess, because I'm sending DTs and he's gonna scan all the time over his army. So, but there's no reason not to have 1 or 2 observer out. That was really a mistake. Even though I won this game, it was a mistake from me. But sending a probe out sometimes to make sure where his army is can be good. Like right now, let's say I'm macroing. I finally transferred my nexus and making probes. I know he's coming just because of that probe. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is your sentry and this army composition. I'm trying not to get kited up a ramp, so I pull back. Now I'm gonna, go into my vision. I'm gonna pull that sentry right now, and you see I'm like clicking behind the army. If you go for armor charge lots, you need that single sentry to do that job. You need this sentry to be your savior. So I click behind his army, go back to chrono because my upgrade just finished. Click this. Oh, I'm not clicking the sentry right now, but I had another guardian shield and could have done so. That poor stalker was out of position and was lost. But yeah, and then I'm going double Chrono Colossus. He's not expecting it, or is he? No, doesn't look like he is. Sometimes people will, like in low-level leagues, they'll even go as far as go Ghost, or like that guy is going Marines, because it's a lot easier to kite Archons and Zots with Marines. They run faster and they do higher DPS. So that guy's going heavy Marines, and then I transition into Colossus, or he's going Ghost and I transition into Colossus, or he's not ready to make Vikings and I transition into Colossus. So that Colossus transition, in my opinion, of oh yeah, I tried to drop some more DTs, but he was born ready, playing defensive. When you want to do some multitasking like that, it's good to take the tower, put some pressure, send a single zealot to harass another base, distract them, and then do it. But I didn't do any of those things, so unfortunately for me, that drop that didn't fail too hard didn't do much. Grabbing a fort because I have a lead. If you play Protoss by now, if you haven't figured it out, it's better to play passive a lot of times to make the snowball effect. Sometimes it can bite you in the butt against Zerg late game or against Terrans who sack all their SCVs and have a really big army. But I mean, that's how I like to play. So I'm doing the snowball effect right now. You could call me the Spoon Toss if I start winning tournaments too. Maybe one day. But yeah, I'm basically macroing, not going more than 74 probes. What I'm going to do is the main's going to mind out, and I've got like maybe extra from 16. I got 3 extra probes here. I've sent another DT here, and then I'm going to transfer to my fort. Yeah, this time you want to add a second forge. It's like basically the way I see it is you either open the double forge or you open one forge. But if you open one forge, you don't want to add the second forge until you get like your third base, just because you want to have more units. I feel that's how I feel. Sometimes it's personal preference. Sometimes it's down to the build order. For my build order, I don't add it until the third. So, and I go on a single forge. And yeah, it was basically a rollover. The guy on only Marines, I was 2-1, he was 1-1, and I'm still harassing over here. Work your lead pretty significant, and I've got Colossus and he's got no answer. And while you're the first time he sees Colossus is when he's gonna start making Vikings. So even a bit before he sees your Colossus, like when you get like your first or second Colossus, if you have the resource to start transitioning into Blink, which is already but it's good to start making like 10, 12 stalkers. You don't want to make more than that. Well, although this guy didn't have too many marauders. If you look at his army, he has a single marauder, not sure why. But if you don't want to go too heavy stalkers because those marauders will eat up your stalkers. So 10, 12 is enough to blink and get rid of the Vikings. Should have added Storm by now, but one thing too is I'm gonna drop with that. Like, see what I was explaining earlier. Putting pressure somewhere. Okay, not sure if I want to engage. Not sure if I want to engage. Dropping with the War Prism. So like even his army is like about to die. I'm still like gonna make it rain on him and make some Zods, some DTs. Try to go for the turrets so the DTs can live and keep chronoing the upgrades. Well, I guess I'll do that after. Because I wanted to split the DTs, obviously, and then please do your upgrades. Well, I suck, I guess. Oh, okay, I'm spamming pause. I was like, why is this lagging? Snipe is orbital, sadly. I'm really still sad that this is not, because I was too busy microing. I was busy microing the DTs, but, I mean, at this point, this guy has 2-2, and I've got, like, 3-2, so I've got a decent lead. I'm really sad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, okay, so we're just gonna move on. Apparently, I'm not gonna chrono it. But yeah, this game's over. But yeah, multitasking, dropping with War Prism, definitely something low-level players can use to help them win games. But that build, I really like that build. We're gonna look at a second game, and we're also gonna look at build order notes one more time. I really hope my stream or my recording is not messing up at all. So let's hope. Maybe I should have put the chat on the second monitor. Okay, you guys. Okay. Just tell me if it's going well. What's up, guys? Okay. So the build order notes. So the build order notes. I don't really use the food. It's mostly like mostly feeling. Like how I'm feeling it. Like I play by like. I don't play by build orders like that, but I wrote it down for you guys. So basically, you want to chrono 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You want to chrono. You want to make 9 pylon, 13 gate, 15 gas, 16 pylon, 18 core, 19 zealot, 22 pylon, 22 stalker. Expand around 26, 27, 28, depending on the eBay harass. You want 30 twilight. 34 Robo, 37 Second Gate, 38 or around 640 Dark Shrine, 43rd Gate, 37 Second Gate, okay, 43rd Gate, 40, I suck at calling out numbers, what is this? 43 War Prism, 51 Forge or Gate, I prefer Gate, 53 or around 825 Warpin and 3DTs, and then it was around, drop them around 840, drop them around 840, and you basically chrono probes, that's a good thing. One guy in chat, I was like, what do we chrono? Chrono probes. You don't need, and then chrono War Prism, obviously. And then after that you want to chrono the armor. Start and chrono. I guess I could put that. Start and chrono armor. Go to a gate, make 3 Archons, 1 Zot, and a lot of Zots, and then grab third depending on how much damage you've done with the DTs. Make sure to get +2 armor. Transition into double Robo Colossus after defending your third, or once you have 3 Archons. Transition into Blink. So you can defend those Colossus. Get Storm later on. Okay, so we're gonna look at the second replay of this PvT guide of guide number 7, how to War Prism DT harass when you and your opponent are going 1 gate, 1 Rex, expand. And I'm looking for the folder, there you go. Yeah, so I'm gonna speed it up a bit. But yeah, I really like to poke with Zod Stalker. Zod's good to deny the eBay and be able to poke. If they don't have a bunker up, you can kill some Marines, or you can kill the CV that's building the bunker. So yeah, I mean, some players like Sase and Parting have stopped building the Zod, but I feel that for this build it's necessary to make a Zod. There would probably be a version of this build that could be done with their opening, and that would work just as fine, but that's how I play, and that's how a lot of players play. So this is my guide, and that's how we do it, guys. So all of the build order I've mentioned before, 19 Zod. I've confirmed the expansion, so I'm gonna delay, I think, my Stalker. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna delay the Stalker and yeah, okay, so that's good. I was talking about that earlier. If you can confirm and expand, you want to delay, I think it's better to do that. You want to delay that Stalker, and you want to delay that third pylon, and then you want to expand. And then you're gonna chrono the Stalker, obviously, because that's what you chrono early on. So you chrono the Stalker, make a pylon, then you make a probe. Now this guy, I don't know what this guy was up to. He was just maybe trying to scare me since he saw that I wasn't making a Zod or a Stalker. He had some cutesy micro with his Marines. But yeah. And then my Stalker came out. I chronoed another Stalker right away, even though it should have been a gas. So yeah, I guess this replay is not the best one because my guess is a bit late. But no, I guess it's fine. One thing that this game will show you guys is how important it is to have good multitasking on the minimap to make sure you don't lose your Stalkers, and you're gonna find out why in a bit. So you wanna, so here I'm gonna kill Stalker, Marine. I'm gonna poke a bit, but one thing that's really important is to not lose the actual energy, only the shield. So I stayed a bit longer. I should have backed out after I killed that Marine. So here I'm gonna make the Robo. So 1 gate, 1 Twilight, 1 Robo. You want to start adding more gates while chronoing probes. So I'm gonna transfer some probes. And really looking at the minimap and making sure that Stalker doesn't die is really crucial. And keeping that Stalker here to deny SCV is really good as well. Like, this guy's gonna scout eventually, and that poor SCV is gonna die, and that guy's gonna be sad. So Gonna make the dark shrine as soon as I get some. Okay, so as soon as I get some gas, got a good amount of workers at the natural. Good, 16 here. Finally got enough gas for that dark shrine. Gonna add the third gas at the natural. Like I said, I don't like to play by food because like that game was different because I messed up this, and I messed up with like. Yeah, I messed up with the early game because I didn't add my gas early enough. But really, it's really step by step. It's like one gate, one robo, add 2 more gates, make a dark shrine, add a 4th gate, and yeah. I think I should have grabbed that tower. Here I had a probe on patrol because he was moving out with marines, and I was afraid that he would go by here and that I wouldn't see him. So I put a probe on patrol here, because if you have this tower, you don't know if they're coming out this way. Now I tried to kite him back, but I really sucked at it for some reason. And that was really unfortunate. Or it's gonna die again. Oh yeah, it dies again. Like how sad is this? And I should have attacked instead of trying to run. Like, that's a bad reflex, I guess, of mine, that I just realized that I really need to do. Or really need to change that. Sometimes you can save it, but most of the time you're mostly screwed. So like I see this, and I'm like ready to warp in with some DTs. I've got like my money. Well, my dark shrine's a bit delayed, but then I try to. I'm gonna like transfer out those probes, and that warp prism was spotted, but I don't think he realized it while he was poking here. So I've lost like 7 probes because of my bad stalker micro and bad multitasking. I mean, it's really easy to play bad and to mess this up, but still, just to show you, like this guy was like something like mid-eye master. So he ran all the SCVs really quickly, so I didn't kill as much. I'm gonna kill some depot, kill some add-on. Oh, this is gonna finish, sadly. While I am gonna start making more probes, gonna make sure I transfer the right amount. To cut off 16, that sweet number. I've got the tower just in case. You wanna make sure those DTs are cost efficient. So see, I saw that he came up the ramp. I knew he was gonna scan, so I just ran, and then I moved that one because he scanned again. Then I'm gonna make another one because he must be running out of scan. And then you want to go for add-ons. One thing that's hard is to spot every time he tries to make a turret. So I should have been looking instead of been attacking a depot, and I should have killed that SCV that's building a turret, and I could have done even more damage. And here I even lost a DT because of the goddamn. Am I gonna run this one? Yes. Oh, almost. But I made him scan. So you see, like right now, unit loss tab. I lost a lot more, but I'm like coming back because I made him burn so many scans. Because the scans don't go in the unit loss. You have to keep remembering that. So he tries to go for my warp prism to snipe him. Back home, while I'm microing those DTs to save my life and come back, I'm getting armor. I'm gonna get charged shortly as soon as I realize that my macro is not up to par right now. That DT is still going to town on some stuff. I think he's gonna scan it. So that was like so many scans. And he's queuing a lot of workers because he's supply block and life is not going too well for him. And am I gonna add a turret? No. I'm gonna do the same transition I was talking about. I'm gonna make 1 sentry, 3 archons, and then move on. So he burned a lot of scan, and he's beyond on workers now. Sorry, I'm gonna put my vision. Starting the archons. Adding more gates. How many gates I'm going to? I'm going to the 8th I was talking about. Chronoing that. So like, as you build your 1 gate, 1 twilight, 1 robo, you want to build a lot of probes. But once you get that forge and that charge going, you want to chrono a lot of. You want to chrono those upgrades non-stop. And one thing too is I checked around for hidden orbitals because I told myself, oh, he might have hidden orbitals. So right now he's playing passive. I mean, he's like rebuilding his stuff, making sure he's macroing. I lost my observer. I was pretty sad, but so I've got like decent map vision. Oh, yeah, this was silly. I think I should have seen it, or should have had like, yeah, this definitely shouldn't have worked. I should have had some stuff here. If I would have had like a pan on here, I would have seen it. It's getting a few observers because you don't want to be in the dark. Making sure you don't get supply block. Yeah, here my Zealot blocked me and that Archon blocked me and I didn't get that medevac, but chronoing armor as much as I can, and gonna add the Robo Bay eventually here. I didn't add the second Robo right away, that was just a misplay by me. Chronoing some probes because I'm about to grab that third. My saturation grew even. I messed up a bit the saturation. Well, sometimes if your main's getting mined out like this, it's good to sometimes transfer a bit more, because you want your saturation to like be good. And it's good to try to spread out your units as well. I'm gonna harass this third. Not sure what that was. Like, if he comes up the ramp, I'm gonna have armor, and I'm gonna have Guardian Shield. So I'm gonna be in a really good position to win the battle. Oh, with the SCVs. Okay. Well, I guess that guy didn't have Fate. Because, oh yeah, his turn was really late. I mean, I can't blame him. So yeah, guys, this was this was the sloppy version of my War Prism DT build. But I've explained a few like basic stuff in PvT, like late game or mid-late game. You want to make sure you have the map covered. You want to make sure you get your upgrades. You want to make sure you had the second forge, like right about now, since I had my third. You want to transition into double Robo Colossus. You want to drop some 3 DTs and maybe make another one if one got scanned and you think you can split well enough to still keep doing damage, like if there's no turret established. And yeah, I hope you guys have a lot of success with this build. This build order note pad will be in the description of the YouTube video. So if you use the build, leave me feedback. If you think the build's trash, leave me feedback in the comment section below. I was about to do it on my webcam, but the webcam is not turned on. But yeah, if you guys if you guys enjoyed the guide, just leave a few comments in the comment section. If you're using it and you're having success, let me know. If it doesn't work, let me know, and you can ask me a few questions in the comment section on YouTube. So thank you for watching this guide. Make sure to subscribe. There's going to be an annotation somewhere. I've always wanted to do this. There's going to be an annotation. Make sure to subscribe. And thanks for watching. Peace!